Hi everyone, greetings from Texas. All right, I'm Megan Benanti and I'm here for your readings today. So now that I can do longer videos, let's do 3 readings so we can reach maybe more people in that because that just adds up a little oomph to the session. Okay, so we have a barrow, like a wheelbarrow, but it's got a push cart. So you're going to pick the push cart, or you will pick the scorpion for Scorpio, or you will pick the palm tree. So choose one of those 3, palm tree, scorpion, or push cart, and that reading will apply to you. I am actually going to read for the palm tree first, and we'll just go right into that and see what we get for today. I just got back from filming with NBC5, which was really fun. So I got my 4 minutes of fame in. And I'll post that link up once it's available. They don't know when they're going to air it yet, but it will be aired live, and then it'll sit on their website, and we'll have a link for it. Okay, all you palm tree people, let's take a look. Okay, so, oh, gotta put this close today. I had to stick it really close to me so you can actually see it. You've got a new beginning for those people with a palm tree. And maybe you're like me and planned a vacation because gosh knows sometimes we need a break. We got to get out of town. It's creative. It's energetic. There's a lot of enthusiasm here. So you're excited about something new in your life. And I love that we have the palm tree because that can, bend and sway and flow in even strong winds without breaking. And so that shows a real good sense of resiliency. But it's also looking at the lighter side of things and relaxing a little bit. You're not relaxing in work though. I do feel like you've got a Queen of Swords here. So this might be yourself as a queen, or it might be someone that you're working with. But not the nicest of words are happening here. And you might be feeling irritated or overburdened. You might be struggling with some problem solving and being a little bitchy. I don't know how else to say it. Sometimes that's part of this Queen of Swords. And I want you to take the time to kind of chill out. You've got that palm tree, and that's significant in this because maybe you're trying too hard or you're overdoing it. If you're dealing with a boss, hey, right now nothing is going to please this person. And so let it go, do the best job you can, and maybe stay clear a little bit. But take that burden off yourself. It's not you. It would be them in this case. Okay, now personally, there might be some focus on your mom. And maybe she's being a little burdensome or overdoing it. Or maybe being underdoing it and being kind of lazy and expecting you to solve the problems for her. And so I feel like you've got some stresses in the maternal area. For those of you that are moms, you might also really be struggling with the fact that you're ready for your kids to go back to school, and we don't really know what that's going to look like. I mean, yes, they're going to be in school, but they're not going to be in the classroom until mid-September, and there's some frustration there. And definitely a feeling of vulnerability that comes up with this particular Empress image because she's out here naked. Yeah, so I just feel it's interesting you got the palm tree, and there's all this sort of swaying beauty because you're facing a lot of challenges. And one of the things that I've been seeing in my readings is that people have really been struggling with the collective depression that's happening. And so especially people under 40 or I should say maybe under 35, if they haven't gotten all the life skills yet on how to get themselves out of a depression, they're really struggling. And so if that is you, and it looks like you might be, know that, part of this is the collective consciousness. And the more that you're aware of that, the more you can begin to separate yourself from it. Go into that pain and acknowledge the pain for what it is and what the root cause of that is. And then decide if you need to own that or not, if you need to stay in this place, because right now you're feeding into the depression itself. Spiritually, you need to be diving into this. I just looked at the card and I was like, oh, wow, I'm already saying it. And I didn't even know that was the next card. So, Yeah, you need to get real with yourself. And what is your ego, and what part of you are you feeding into this like frustration and depression, because you're the only one who can get you out of this. Um, and so to me, as I look at that sweet, beautiful palm tree and I look at the Ace of Wands we started with, you're beginning to say, okay, I am done. I'm ready to deal with this. I need a new beginning here. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. That will give you a whole new perspective on how you're looking at that depression in your life. All right, so that's palm tree, people. Now let's look at those scorpions. And if one of the things about me is I don't know a lot about people's astrological signs, and in fact I've tried to take most of those charms out of this bag, but I do have the sign of Scorpio. And just because you're a Scorpio, that doesn't mean you have to pick this charm. And it's going to apply to anyone. And if we think about what a scorpion is, it stings. And it's also, they're related to spiders. It's in the arachnid family. And yes, being a plant geek and nerd, I actually happen to know that. But they do have, kind of a hard outer shell. But there might be a part of you that feels a little stingy and needs a little bit of alone time. Let's see what our reading says for you, okay? So, all right. So first off, you might have gotten some information recently that was either disappointing or you're still waiting on information. And so there's this focus on this holdup of like, oh, when is it going to come? And maybe that's something you ordered online, or it's a resume you've put out there. But hang in there. I don't feel that this is bad. I just feel that things are delayed. And I'm sure that all of you have noticed that the technology's been a little wonky, even though Mercury's not in retrograde. I just think that, I don't know, we still have plenty of other planets in retrograde, but there's just been a lot of hiccups in the technology environment. And so be patient here, and try to relax. You've got that Scorpio, and I've got poppies here. And we think about poppies, well, that's heroin. So take it back, chill out a little bit. All right, now work, you're rocking it out on the job. And you've got safety and security here. You might not even be that busy, but like you're so confident in your job, this seems really good for you. And I see that it's been productive, and you've worked to where you want to be. And so there's some entitlement, but I mean that in the best way possible, actually. It's very positive appearance in this card. All right. Personal life, that feels like it's maybe beginning to calm down a little bit, but it's been unsettled. I want you to know that you are getting to the end of that cycle, though. And try not to overthink it. I think you had your Scorpion's tail out a little bit. And because I feel like that sense of responding to things, reacting, and maybe kind of jumping to conclusions on it and not necessarily thinking it through. Although some of you have like thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and like still like you've overthought it to a point where you're exhausted. And so this is time for you to rest and know that you're kind of on the upswing in the personal life area. So things are going to begin to get better there. Now, spiritually, I'm also picking up some trouble in that area. It's going to be time to shake up your belief systems, because you do seem to feel stuck. And the one thing that is sort of interesting about our spiritual life is, like, I know for me, I want to feel that magic. I want to feel that connection. And I don't always feel that. But that doesn't mean I'm not living on my spiritual path, or I'm not living in my spiritual life. And so I feel like as I look at this, it seems like you're a little bit lost. You're not sure of where to go. It's feeling a little bit stagnant. So maybe, and I know it's hot as Hades out there, but maybe this is a good time for you to connect in nature. Maybe it's a good time to open up someone else's philosophical quotes. Get some different ideas. Go look on Instagram. There's quotes all over the place, and usually they're really good. They don't always give credit to where they're coming from, which I think is important, but they're usually good quotes. So look at what triggers or might help you to kind of get out of the box and think a little bit differently, because you feel it does feel like you're in a with that. And I hate for anybody to feel stuck spiritually. I know it's a tough place. And know that sometimes we just need to be in this moment of imperfection. And that's also okay too, because that's when we grow the most. All right, Scorpion people. So put your stingers away. I do feel your vulnerability here, but I also feel your strength, and you've got some good pros and cons that are happening. But overall, I want you to know you're kind of headed in the right direction with your day-to-day life. I do want more focus on your spirituality, though, and allow yourself to receive things, because that might, now that's coming back in a whole different way. You might need to, people might be trying to give you things, and you might need to receive that, whether that's love or caring or prayer. Don't feel like you have to do all this on your own. And so honor that, because that Scorpion is a tendency to be like, I got to do it myself. I don't need anybody's help. I'm telling you right now, this is the time to accept it. All right, so let's look at the people who picked the cart. So a cart, that's a tool that's going to help you get your things from point A to point B. It can be kind of heavy to lug, but it's, once we had the wheel, life got a lot easier. Now it's a two-wheeled cart, so you have to pick it up and push it. So it's going to take some effort on your part, but if you don't mind a little hard work, you can really make progress with that. So let's see what our cart people have here. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Well, interesting. Everybody's got a little bit of ups and downs today, but with where our climate is right now, and I mean, you can read this, you can get this reading anytime, and it will apply to you. But we are in COVID, and so it's a weird time in the world. Okay. So cart people, you are ready just for change. It's like, oh gosh, I'm taking a leap of faith. I am not doing this anymore. It's time. You're being fearless about it. There is some focus for you on loyalty, and expecting your friends to be loyal. But I will say, be conscientious of your acts. They're not going to follow you just because it's what you want to do. And I know that might be hard for you to hear, but sometimes that's it. All right, now 8 of Cups in reverse. I love this card. For me, this is one of those neutrals in the deck, and not everybody's going to read it that way. Work is getting back into this sort of familiar routine for you, and and you're pushing your cart and you're doing your job. Not a bad thing. It's just that it's a known thing. You know what to expect there. You're doing the job that you need to do, and I think that's good. I do feel like you've got some extra cleanup around there, and that might be literally sanitizing, but it could be something else. I mean, maybe people are leaving their dishes around and you feel like you always have to do them. That a lot of times is a job somebody in the office gets stuck with. So I feel like work is good. It's consistent. It just feels like there's a lot that's maybe piled up around you a little bit. Areas to the heart. This is kind of feeling like you got your toes stepped on, or you might be the person doing the stepping on. And I want you to think about this because it's a 5. 5s are a challenging number typically. And you might need to take a step back and not put so much pressure on the people around you. You might also be the person receiving that energy. And, draw that boundary with your loved one. You can do this in a very heart-filled way, but we need to know that we've overstepped limits sometimes, especially with the people we care about, because those are the people we're going to most easily take advantage of. So I want you to maybe share this load a little bit with your partner and have a conversation here, or your loved one, whatever that is. But you've got a little bit to work through. This isn't a battle to win, because if the ego says, oh, I've got to win this, that means somebody's got to lose it. And that's not good for a relationship. It's when we both work on finding a space. It's like, okay, you see this way and I see it this way, and okay, we're going to find our happy medium in here on where we can, be okay and on good terms with this. All right, so spiritually for you, you might have had a breakthrough recently, and I feel like it was a tough one. This is definitely going to elevate you, but it does feel like you've had some trauma, and there might be a little bit of feeling heartbroken about that. And it doesn't have to be a romantic kind of heartbrokenness, but sometimes, when we're super challenged in our spiritual belief system, a whole new light can come into how we perceive things. And I'm looking at this for you going, you really had to get to this point where you said, enough's enough. I need to see things. I need to look at the world differently and believe that what I'm thinking and feeling is okay, even if it doesn't resonate with what other people tell me I should be thinking and believing. So tremendous growth in there. And so this might be, this card is packing your bags and moving on. So, all right, everyone. So that's your wrap for the week. I hope that you've enjoyed your readings. Please feel free to post your comments below and send me any messages you want to. I'm always interested in hearing feedback from people. And also feel free to share it with anyone you like. So you guys take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye.